Okay, we're going to show you some great news here out of John Wayne Airport, JWA. That's right. We've been working to get the airlines to fly out the new R2R NADP1, and that is a noise abatement profile 1. And what our data shows is that when they, not if, but when they fly the R2R NADP1, we see a significant decrease in noise in the departure corridor, which is our community. So great success. This is a Frontier flight coming out of John Wayne, Monday, November 21st, 2020. And this is a Class E aircraft that's taken off. And Joe's going to fill us in on some of the data. So here we go.
Right. Probably the most asked question is, well, what is this new profile? Well, what we did was, after analyzing over 30,000 flights, we found a combination of altitude, aircraft velocity, and thrust restriction, and we put those three elements together to come up with the perfect, or what I should say is a very quiet, maybe up to 10 decibels less, half the noise. That's 100% reduction in noise on these departures. So we've had 3 aircraft now that we've been following, and 3 airlines. We've got Frontier, American, and Delta have all operated under these parameters of the R2R NADP1, and we're going to show you one right here. This happens to be the quietest, most efficient flight from a noise standpoint that has flown since the beginning of NextGen. So this is really groundbreaking stuff here that you're going to be watching in a second. So let's go ahead and roll the tape, and we will comment on it. Now, this is an Airbus A320neo. It's with Frontier. They have some of the quietest aircraft to begin with. But this aircraft gets to altitude very fast. There's the 73 freeway underneath there at 1,400 feet. Noise monitors coming up on noise monitors 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to hit a record altitude of over 2,000 feet at noise monitor 3, the Bickle waypoint. He's also maintaining a steady speed of about 160 knots.
Now, question, Joe. We've had aircraft that have flown through our community on the departure corridor that didn't, they were at 2,500 feet at the coast. And this guy is already at 2,500 feet, and he's basically just through the 73 and through noise monitors 1, 2, and 3. This is amazing.
Yeah, just amazing work by the crew. Coming up past noise monitor 4 and noise monitor 5. Again, climbing at a steady rate of speed, 168. Now he hits noise monitor 6, which is the HEPA waypoint, and he's already at 3,500 feet. We could barely hear this aircraft from the ground as it passed over.
And these are LMAX numbers here. What was a typical LMAX number of aircraft that are or weren't flying the new R2R NADP1?
Yeah, great question. Comparable with a Class E would be about 77 to 78, so 12 to 13 decibels quieter at this point.
That's stunning. That's stunning.
Phenomenal stuff.
Yep.
1.5 times, 150% quieter.
That's amazing.
So moving through the bay, we're coming up on Newport Dunes. That's another aircraft waypoint known as Papao. And let's see what, let's freeze it at the LMAX. That LMAX stands for the peak noise, and it looks like we're at 59 decibels. Now, some of the other aircraft get up as high as 80 LMAX, so we're talking a 20 decibel difference here.
Yep, so this one LMAXed at 60, and you said there were, what are some of the other levels for some of the other aircraft that aren't flying this quiet noise department?
Our average would be around 78 to 82.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we'll be looking at the altitude here. We're at 5,000 feet. You can freeze it a second. That's Pacific Coast Highway below the wing. Prior to this, most aircraft are down low around 2,500 feet. That's half the altitude of this aircraft.
Yep, and that was the comment. That was the comment I was making earlier, right? At the departure, you know, right. you got aircraft coming just over.
Most of the flights don't get to 2,500. American flights weren't getting to 2,500 at the coast. Right?
Yep, and this guy's more than double that. And again, that's your point in the design of the R2R NADP-1 is thrust is 50% of the noise profile. And you can see that this guy, as he flew through our community, was not thrusting. He was just keeping an average speed as he moved through the corridor.
Yeah, some of the higher speeds at this point on the other airlines are closer to 250 knots, and you can see he's at 204. But those 250 knots, when they're at 2,000 feet above the ground, really create a loud noise impact. Him being a mile up in the sky, you can't really notice anything at 200 knots.
That's amazing. And I know being on Balboa Island when he came through, you had texted me, and all I could say was I didn't hear it. And there was some clouds, so I didn't see it, but I didn't hear it. This is phenomenal.
So that's the record, folks. It's 5,800 feet at the coastline. Great news for the residents, and very quiet departure for Frontier and the Airbus 320neo. New record.
New record here for John Wayne Airport, Orange County, California, September 21st, 2020. Thanks for the analysis, Joe.